Shashwin, shall we start with the Mangalacharan? Is it possible?
Yes.
Let's start then. Hare Krishna.
Om Ajnanatimirandharshya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Tadāmayam Tadanti Sapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sakrajadam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam
Sajivam
Sarvedam Swavadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya
Devam
Shri Radha
Krishna Shri Vitam
He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopisya Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanta
Rangi Radhe Vrindavani
Vrishabhanustute Devi Pranamami Hari
Priye
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kipasubhayevacha Parinamamibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu
Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara
Srivasadi Gaura Bhattavrinda
Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Shashwat. Thank you very much for the Mangalacharan recital. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Today you will guide us. Avinash Prabhuji, you will guide us for today's session. You and Partha Prabhuji. Since Partha Prabhuji hasn't joined in, we can start. The purport is long, so we can start and then we'll just go to the acronyms and we'll have our reflections.
Haven't we got Dinanath Prabhu?
No, sorry. I posted yesterday's thing on Harinam Sangha. Dinanath Prabhu was yesterday. So I just copy and pasted and forgot to change the name right now.
There's a Partha Prabhu, and I will do the acronyms, yeah?
Yeah,
I'll do
Avinash
the acronyms and he'll do the, okay.
Yeah, Dinanath Prabhu was yesterday, Prabhuji. Sorry for misguiding. I apologize. Okay, so we are on chapter 12 now, and chapter 12 is called Devotional Service. And today we start with text 1 of chapter 12. So, Shashwin, can you read the text 1, Arjuna Vacha?
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Arjuna Uvacha Evam Satatayuktaye Bhaktasvam Paryupasate Ye Kapya Chapya Ksharam Avyaktam Tesham Ke Yoga Vittama. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Kumar Prabhuji, is it possible for you to read that same text line by line and we'll repeat after you?
Okay, Mataji. Arjuna Uvacha
Arjuna
Arjuna
Uvacha
Uvacha
Evam Sadada Yuktaye
Evam Satata Yuktaye
Bhaktastvam Paryupasade
Bhaktastvam Paryupasate
Yeshapyasharam Avyaktam
Ye Chapyaksharam Avyaktam
Tesham Ke Yoga Vittamaha
Tesham Ke Yoga Vittamaha.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Would anybody else like to read the text? Kruti, would you like to read the text, beta?
Yeah, the shloka.
Hare Krishna. Yes, you read one line, we'll repeat. You lead us, we'll follow you.
Okay. Arjuna Vacha
Arjuna
Uvacha
Evam Satata Yuktaye
Evam
Satata
Sadadayuktaye
Yuktaye
Bhaktastvam Paryupashate
Bhaktasvam Paryapashate
Ye Chapi Aksharam Avyaktam
Ye
Yeshapyasharam
Chapyaksharam Avyaktam
Yatam
Tesham Ke Yoga Vitama
Tesham Ke Yoga Vittamaha.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Is Lata Mataji there for word to word?
Yes.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna
Uvacha
Arjuna said,
Arjuna said,
Evam
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 thus,
thus
Satata,
Satata
always,
always
Yukta,
Yukta
engaged,
engaged.
Ye,
Ye
those who,
those who
Bhakta,
Bhakta
devotees,
devotees
Svam,
from
you,
you
Paryupasate,
Paripashate
properly worship,
properly worship.
Ye,
Ye
those who,
those who
Cha,
cha
also,
also
Api,
be
again,
Again.
Aksharam,
Aksharam
beyond the senses,
beyond the senses.
Avyaktam,
Avyaktam
the unmanifested,
The
unmanifested.
thus, Tesam,
Tesham
of them,
Of them
Ke,
Ye
who,
who
Yoga Vittama,
Yoga
Yoga
Vittama,
Vittama,
the most perfect in knowledge of yoga.
the
the
most
most perfect
perfect
in
in the
knowledge
knowledge of yoga.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you very much.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Partha Prabhuji, please accept our humble obeisances and Danvat Pranam. Hare Krishna. Avinash Prabhuji, would you like to do the translation?
Okay. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yes.
Arjun inquired, which are considered to be more perfect? Are you
Arjuna
repeat?
replied, Arjuna inquired, which are considered
Considered to
more
be
perfect?
perfect.
Those who are always properly engaged in your devotional service,
Those who are always properly engaged in your devotional service,
or those who worship the impersonal Brahman,
are
are
those
those
who
who
worship
worship
the
the
impersonal
impersonal
Brahman,
Brahman,
the unmanifested.
The
the unmanifested.
Hare Krishna. So the text for today is, purport for today is quite long. Ishani, Mataji, would you like to read some of it?
I don't have any of the material with me at all.
Okay, okay,
So
not a problem. Not a
I'm
problem.
just
Okay,
following.
thank you for
Sorry.
joining. Thank you for joining this group, and let's welcome Ishani Mataji to this group.
Thank you.
Mataji, if you can put on your video just for a second, we can say
Yeah, sure.
three
Yeah.
Haribol.
Hello.
Haribol. Let's do three
Haribol.
Haribols before,
Haribol.
because today is a long purport and long class.
Thank you.
Haribol, Haribol,
Haribol. Hare
Haribol.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for
Hare
joining.
Krishna. That's all right. Thank you.
Okay, Hare Krishna Prahlad. Would you like to do the purport? We can divide it into three. The first part you can read, then Kruti can help you, and then I can finish off.
Okay, so that means I stop where it says easiest means for association with the Godhead in the second paragraph.
Okay, you stop at Godhead, and then Kruti will continue for 2, and then I can do the last if she gets tired. Or between the two of you, you can finish the purport.
Okay. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Jai. Krishna has now explained about the personal, the impersonal, and the universal, and has described all kinds of devotees and yogis. Generally, the transcendentalist can be divided into two classes. One is the impersonalist, and the other is the personalist. The personalist devotee engages himself with all energy in the service of the Supreme Lord. The impersonalist also engages himself, not directly in the service of Krishna, but in meditation on the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested. We find in this chapter that of the different processes for realization of the absolute truth, Bhakti Yoga, devotional service, is the highest. If one at all desires to have the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then he must take to devotional service. Those who worship the Supreme Lord directly by devotional service are called personalists. Those who engage themselves in meditation on the impersonal Brahman are called impersonalists. Arjuna is here questioning which position is better. There are different ways to realize the absolute truth, but Krishna indicates in this chapter that Bhakti Yoga, or devotional service to him, is the highest of all. It is the most direct and it is the easiest means for association with the Godhead. Hare Krishna, someone can continue on.
Hare Krishna Kruti, are you able to do so?
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
In the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the Supreme Lord explained that a living entity is not a material body. He is a spiritual spark, and the absolute truth is the spiritual whole. In the seventh chapter, he spoke of the living entity as being part and parcel of the Supreme Whole and recommended that he transfer his attention fully to the whole. Then again, in the 8th chapter, it was said that anyone who thinks of Krishna at the time of quitting his body is at once transferred to the spiritual sky, to the abode of Krishna. And at the end of the 6th chapter, the Lord clearly said that all yogis, one who always thinks of Krishna within himself, is considered the most perfect. So, in practically every chapter, the conclusion has been that one should be attached to the personal form of Krishna, for that is the highest spiritual realization. Nevertheless, there are those who are not attached to the personal form of Krishna. They are so firmly detached that even in the preparation of commentaries of Bhagavad Gita, they want to distract other people from Krishna and transfer all devotion to the impersonal Brahma Jyoti. They prefer to meditate on the impersonal form of the absolute truth, which is beyond the reach of the senses and is not manifest. You can continue.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much. And so, factually, there are two classes of transcendentalists. One, Arjun is trying to settle the question. Now, Arjun is trying to settle the question of which process is easier and which of the classes is most perfect. In other words, he's clarifying his own position because he's attached to the personal form of Krishna. He is not attached to the impersonal Brahman. He wants to know whether his position is secure. The impersonal manifestation, either in this material world or in the spiritual world of the Supreme Lord, is a problem for meditation. Actually, one cannot perfectly conceive of the impersonal feature of the absolute truth. Therefore, Arjuna wants to say, what is the use of such a waste of time? Arjuna experienced in the 11th chapter that to be attached to the personal form of Krishna is because he could thus understand all other forms at the same time, and there was no disturbance to his love for Krishna. This important question asked by Krishna by Arjuna will clarify the distinction between the impersonal and personal conceptions of the absolute truth. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everybody. Thank you for joining in. We are on chapter 12, the devotional service, and today it is text 1. We've just finished reading the text word to word translation and purport. Then we'll deliberate on the purport, and then we'll hand over to Partha Prabhuji and Avinash Prabhuji, who will tell us about the acronyms, and Partha Prabhuji can guide us whether we are on the right path in our discussion.
I'm going to come out of this.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Okay, so can anybody give their realization and tell me what is happening in here in this purport? What is Srila Prabhupada trying to tell us? Prahlad, would you like to have a go? What is the definition of impersonalist and personalist? Who are these people that are being quoted over here?
Okay, so here, as we were told by the purport, Arjuna is asking which of the two is better. And this is the introduction of Bhakti Yoga, which is the entire chapter that we'll be covering, this time. I don't know for how many weeks, but this will be the chapter that we'll be covering, devotional service. So we have been introduced to two terminologies, impersonalists and personalists. So we were told by Srila Prabhupada that the personalists are the people who engaged, who serve the Supreme Lord directly by devotional service. And the impersonalists are the ones that meditate on the impersonal Brahman. Maybe Path Prabhu can elaborate more on the impersonalist, because I think I need to be reminded on what the impersonal Brahman is, because I'm not sure of that. But that's the general definition. So we are being told in the other paragraphs that Krishna said that only a person that does devotional only a person who does devotional service, which is Bhakti Yoga, a person who practices this, which is serving him directly, they don't need to worry about all this, so yeah, that's what I have understood, that it's somehow the highest form of service, or highest form of service that you can give to Krishna, and also probably makes the biggest impact on our way to Godhead, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prahlad, for your realizations. Kruti, is it possible for you to say something that you have understood, something different that besides Prahlad? We'll reserve the question for who the impersonalists are for Path Prabhuji. But
I'm not very sure. This time it's kind of confusing.
Okay. Fine. Any more realizations? Anybody would like to say anything else? Okay, Parth Prabhuji, we have doubts. So
I just want to add one more
yes,
point
okay,
that I just
okay.
found out. I mostly am excited about this chapter because I really want to know how to go about devotional service, and also noting that we started this chapter, we are only 6 chapters away and 231 shlokas from finishing the Bhagavad Gita. So it's also a point worth noting. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prahlad. Any more additions, any more doubts, any more questions? So once and for all, we ask Prabhuji to clarify our doubts. I think, Prabhuji, we are waiting for you to clarify our doubts, Parth Prabhuji, and then we can hand over to Avinash Prabhuji, who will tell us.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to discussion among the devotees, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and today we are entering in the chapter 12, devotional service. Already we are talking about the devotional service, the rendering devotional service, how we are doing. We can understand in this chapter. And just I'm coming to the point. So, Prahlad's question, what is impersonalist? Is it right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So, we are coming to this one. There are two things here. Arjuna asked the question to Sri Krishna after finish this one universal form. After seeing this universal form, he requests to Krishna, please show your 400 Narayana form. After that, also 200 original form. After his seen, then he prays to Krishna, and we know that one in the answer. Krishna also told in the 56 and 57, 55, 54 and 55, which already we discussed in the last chapter. Who is engaged in pure devotional service is very dear, and he knows me, and I am also with him. There are so many things we know in chapter text number 54 and 55. So this is the conclusion of our Lord Krishna to engage in the pure devotional service. And here also Arjuna inquired, Evam satata yuktaye bhakta tuam paryupasate echapyakshamar bhaktavyam tesam ke yoga vittamaha. Arjuna inquired, which are considered to be the more perfect, those who are always properly engaged in your devotional service, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested. Arjuna have a doubt. He told, I saw your many form, this super giant form, the universal form, another your 400 Vishnu form, and third your 200 Krishna form. So what's supposed to do? What is your opinion? To whom I worship? I worship your the form, the figure of the 200 form, or the Brahman, the impersonality, because that is also Krishna's realization. Also in Bhagavatam we know, Vadanti tat tattvavidam yadkyan adyoy adyam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti sabdate. There are three things are non-different from Krishna. One is the Brahma, second is the Paramatma, third is the Bhagavan. Brahma also, like we are just telling, sun planet, then sun god and sunshine. They are all different from sun, but there is a realization is different. So Brahma, the effulger of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Many of the people, many of the transcendentalists, they are devotees. It's not like the transcendentalists are not devotees. The impersonalists are not devotees. Many of the transcendentalists, they have no better realization. They are merged in Brahma because they are getting a lot of happiness, the innumerable happiness. So they are thinking, oh, that is the right place. Then they are meditating, they are thinking about the Brahma, and they relate himself to the Brahma. What happened after they are with their body? They are merged into the Brahma, the effulgence. There are millions of years they are staying there. But here one question that is a general way. After that, they think, oh, what is the action? Because there is no action. When there is a light, what are you supposed to do? There is nothing to do anything. Just you thinking, just you meditating, and you connecting yourself to this Supreme Personality, the Brahma Jyoti, the effulgence of the Supreme Personality. Then there is no action, there is no
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Am I the only one who has lost Prabhuji? Hare Krishna.
I think we've lost him, so maybe internet connection.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji, welcome back. We had lost you for a fraction of a second when you were explaining Brahman.
Yeah, Brahman. Then the thing is that they have no anything to work. They again come back. They want happiness. They want support because all we are the Supreme Person, we are the spirit soul. It is also described here by Prabhupada. We are all in the spirit soul, spiritual spark. So spark means what he is supposed to do. He is supposed to active. The soul is not, it means there is no question of non-active. He always active. Then the impersonal Brahma, who is engaged in the effulgence, they want to do something. Then again they come back. They may be join, and when they are be devotee, they will go back. So in example, many times we supposed to tell, if you eat a sweet, a sugar candy, you can realize the taste. You can feel the taste. Oh, it is very sweet. But if you became a sweet candy, then what will happen? How can you realize? Is it okay? Are you able to this one?
Prabhuji,
if we are eating a sugar candy or rasgulla, if you are eating a rasgulla, then we can feel the taste. Oh, it's very tasty. Oh, yummy. Very nice. But if we have torn ourselves a rasgulla, then how can I enjoy? How can I feel the taste? Similarly, this is the impersonal Brahman. So we have no any reaction. We have no any communication, reciprocation. This is the, although they are the transcendentalists, but they have this type of a limited experience. Then they again and again they are coming to the earth, coming to this material world, then and going back to.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, we are losing you. Okay, I think we are having challenges.
He's back. He's back.
He's back. Prabhuji, we
Prabhuji,
had
better
lost
switch off the
you.
video, Prabhuji. Switch off the video. You know, the internet is not stable. Switch
Yes,
off the video.
thank you. Good. Again, another thing is the Paramatma we know, who is situated in our heart. We know that one, the Paramatma realization. Is it okay, Mataji? Can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji, we can hear you now.
Okay. And the third is the Bhagavan realization. Brahmati, Paramatmati, Bhagavan iti sabdate. The Bhagavan realization is everything. And that time we can see, oh, Bhagavan is a form. We can reciprocate. We can talk to him. We can give some seva to him. And he can talk to. This is our parampara is going on. That is asked by the Arjuna also. And what is the question of Prahlad? So we can understand. There are also, in this chapter, there are two types of people. Prabhupada, Arjuna asked the question. One is the personalist, and another is the impersonalist. Who is the personalist? Who is the always engaged in the pure devotional service is called the personalist. They think God, Krishna is a form. He is a person. He has some feeling. He has some expectation. He wants something from his devotee. He wants to engage the devotee. That is the thing. So that the devotee are engaged all the time to doing something. That is the personalist form. And another one, I'm just telling about who is just worshipping the Brahma, the light, the effulgence. They're thinking Krishna is not there. This light is everything. But they are not going beyond to the light. In the beyond the light, they can see, oh, the light is coming from Krishna. Then they can realize. So, how can understand? The question Arjun is asking is that who is better? This is the question, who is better, the personalist or impersonalist? Then we can know that since we are reading from chapter 1 to now we are in a 12, already we passed the 11th chapter and a little bit we can understand. It is better, it is far better to worshipping Krishna as a form. So that in chapter 10 by 10 we can know. Tesam satata juktanam. Have you remember 10 by 10 anyone? Tesam satata juktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi jogam tam yena mam upajantite. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. So Krishna told they are Saptata Juktanam means they are engaged all the time in devotional service. They are not thinking, they are not like meditating. They are just thinking. So that after that, I am giving that realization, giving that intelligence. They can understand me, and after that they can come to me. It means that the Surup, the personalist, the Sakar Surup, Krishna is the form. Then they can engage in devotional service. From the self-realization of absolute truth, Bhakti Yoga, devotional service is the highest. It is mentioned here. Also, second chapter, Prabhupada written here, second chapter, it is told that we are not this body or material body, we are the living soul or the spiritual spark, Atma. On second chapter, to describe all the Atma. What is the Atma? Naina Chinnati Sastrani, Naina Danti Pavaka. There's so many things. Atma, there is no birth, no death, and we are not this body, we are the spirit soul. So many things we are Atma. It means we are not this body and we are the spirit soul. So as a spirit soul, what is our duty? Our duty is we are supposed to be connected with this super soul. That is our, how we connected? We connected through this service. That is the channel. If we are thinking, meditating, we don't know to whom I meditate. We don't know how our mind will be stable and to whom. Maybe our mind is going away some other place. Then we are fall down. So this is the thing. We are the spirit soul, and our duty is we are supposed to be serve the super soul. That is in the devotional service. This is the Prabhupada here explained. Also Prabhupada explained the living entity is the part and parcel of the supreme whole. The living entity, part and parcel of the living soul. So what he is supposed to do? If I am a part and parcel of a whole unity, so what is my duty? My duty is to serve Krishna, to serve the whole. And we can understand that one in the chapter 15, text number 7. Mame bangso jiva loko, jiva bhuta sanatana, manah sasthani indriyani, prakruti sthani karsati. It's chapter 15 and text number 7. Krishna told the living entity in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with their six senses, which includes the mind. So here Krishna told, Mama Bangsa Jiva Loka, all the living entity are my part and parcel. So if you are part and parcel, what is your duty? Our duty is supposed to be worship the whole, to pray the whole. This is already told. Also Prabhupada here another explain 8th chapter. Anyone who thinks at Krishna at the time of quit his body, it is at once transformed to his spiritual sky. We know that one when a person at the end of the death or end of his body, when he thinks Krishna or whatever he thinks, he is supposed to be go that. Jam jam bapi smaran bhavam त्यजन्ते ते कलेवरम tam tameva vyatikanteya sada tadbhava bhavita. Wherever, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Is it I'm audible, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, you are. You are doing
Okay,
very
right.
well. We can hear you.
Yeah. So this is the thing that Krishna told how we can come into Prabhupada purport this one also. If you read, I'm not going so far. Prabhupada told, whatever a person is in the time of with his body, whatever he thinks, he will supposed to enter in this kingdom. So here in the text number 8.6, wherever state of being one, remember when he quits his body, was son of a Kunti, that state he will attain without fall. So that is also Krishna told how he coming into the spiritual sky. So what we supposed to do when we are engaged whole the life in Krishna service? We are reading, we are preaching, we are distributing food, distributing books, engage other people in a devotional service. That is the thing. Then we are attending all the day, all the whole life in Krishna service, and at the end of the day, no doubt we'll attend the supreme abode. So what is the easy method? If we are attending at the end of the time, oh light, the light will come. We don't know where is the light. Then we can go to the light also. But if there light, there is nothing. We cannot enjoy there. We become Rasgulla there. But we cannot eat it at anyone also. So what is the benefit of that one? And also in the last, Lord clearly said that of all your yogis, one who always thinking of me, thinking of Krishna within himself, is considered the most perfect. We can know that one in the 6.47. Already we discussed this chapter. Yoginam api sarvesam madgata antaratmanah shradhavan bhajante yomam swame yukta tamo mata. Yoginam api sarvesam. And of all yogis, the one with great faith who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, and renders transcendental loving service to me. He is the most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. That is my opinion. So Krishna clearly told in 6th chapter, already we discussed many times here, Yoginam Api Sarvisam, who is the greatest yogi? Bhajatam Priti Purvakam, who is engaged in devotional service, Madgat Antaratmana, who is thinking within his heart and giving his devotional service unto me, he is the topmost yogi. So this is the just highlights of this chapter, because Avinash Prabhuji also giving some realization. So my conclusion is here is that Arjuna asked the question, to whom I pray, impersonality or personality? So all the chapters, and so Krishna also told, you're supposed to be in a personalist, devotional service, always engage in a transcendental devotional service, so that it is very easy and sublime method. And that is the best way to realize, to reconnection ourselves to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Also, Lord Sri Krishna also describe all the things here. Everything is described slowly. How it is Bhakti Yoga is the topmost and sublime way to realization of everything, not the impersonalist. Even the impersonalist also, you again come back to this material world. Also, we can know the impersonalist. Many people like Shankaracharya, Adi Shankaracharya. Not now the Shankaracharya, there are so many. Adi Shankaracharya, who is the Shankar, the incarnation of Shankara, he told, he is the impersonalist. He is the Brahmavadi. He worshipped the effulgence. But at the end of the time, he wrote, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam Mudhamate. You know, very nice point. Why he told, Mudhamate, what foolish person, you're supposed to be chant Bhaj Govindam, not the impersonalist. He teaches us. This is the thing. So we can understand that one, the higher philosophy, the higher realization. When we rendering service, doing the service, we establish our relationship with Krishna, then we can understand, oh, Krishna is one something. So that we are offering a glass of water, we're giving the fruits, we're giving the sweet, we're giving a nice cloth. When it is hot, we put in fan. When cold, we are putting the sweater or shawl, everything. Why? We feel Krishna is a person. He feelings. That is the devotee. That is the devotional service. And Krishna reciprocated with us and giving this opportunity so that we can understand Krishna. And end of the life, we are going to the Krishna's planet. We go back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. So for Prahlad, I hope you have understood, like Partha Prabhuji said, that if you're looking at a sweet with a wrapper, you can't enjoy the taste. So it is the impersonalist looking, but people, the personalist one is really enjoying the sweet after taking the wrapper out or the rasgulla. So we can remember it that way. Without much ado, I'd like to invite Avinash Prabhuji. Prabhuji, kindly share your screen. I've opened up the sharing screen option. And Prabhuji will tell us about the acronyms. It's very easy. Prabhuji, you can start sharing. It's very easy to remember when Prabhuji explains us the acronyms. Like last chapter's acronym, I remember because it was Rupa. R for request, U for universal form, P was the prayers of Arjuna, and then A is the two-armed form of Krishna. So thank you, Prabhuji, for guiding us. So kindly give us the acronym for today's chapter. Hare Krishna. Avinash Prabhuji, over to you. Prabhuji, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Can you see the screen?
Yes, Prabhuji, we can see the screen.
Okay, so this is acronyms by Sutapa Prabhu. So I thought it's better so you know before we start the chapter, what is the acronym for this chapter. And like Mataji said, we covered Rupa for the last time. And people probably will remember the acronym for chapter 1, which is a doubt, and chapter 2 is Gita, and chapter 3 is tree, and so on. So we were on chapter 11, so that was Rupa, and now this chapter is devotional service. And the acronym for the devotional service for this one, I'll just go to the screen actually. So I don't want to go through everything together. So can you see the screen?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Yeah, so chapter 12, devotional service. This is last of the chapter, as you know, for the Bhakti Yoga. And we covered, first one was Karma, 1 to 6, and then 7 to 12 is Bhakti Yoga, and this is the last of the chapter. And then 13 to 18 is supposed to be Gyan Yoga. Also, although there is some mixture of Bhakti there as well, in everywhere, but the middle part is Bhakti, and Bhakti is the love of God. Yeah, so love of God. And so I will just read through this. So although chapter 12 is the shortest, so this is the shortest chapter in the Bhagavad Gita, it contains essential wisdom which warms the heart of the reader. So entitled Devotional Service, this chapter discusses the path of devotion, the stages one may undergo to achieve it, and the qualities of a devotee who has perfected it. So God essentially means the supreme controller. But in this chapter, we gain the insight of the more cherished aspect of the God's personality and his disposition of the devotee who is fully in love with him. So yeah, the person, we can love a person, but we can't love in person. So that is the key thing. A person is a human person, yeah, human being of the person. So Lord has got a form, a formless or not formless. So it is easier, or it is not easy, it is impossible to love formless, but you can love somebody with a form. Yeah, so that is the gist of it. So the first acronym is Godhead. So Godhead is verses 1 to 7. So in response to a question by Arjun, Krishna again picks up the discussion of impersonalism. It seems to be a recurring theme in the conversation, and one may question why. The essence of our being is to be happy, Anandamaya Vyasa. And the essence of such happiness experienced in loving relationship. For a relationship to exist, there must be a subject, object, and reciprocity. But impersonal notion of oneness kill all three, and therefore cheat the individual of the true happiness. Okay, so this was clearly explained by Partha Prabhu, and you can see what's coming here as well. So Krishna explains that the personal approach to God through bhakti yoga, devotional service, is more practical in the immediate term and more fulfilling in the long term. While those who tread the impersonal path of spirituality undoubtedly receives spiritual merit, their progress is piecemeal and a great deal more troublesome. Thus, one reason Srila Prabhupada continually refers to Krishna as the Godhead is to remind us that God is ultimately a person who must be approached as such. Okay, so that is the acronym for the first verses 1 to 7. So the second one is options. So verses 8 to 12 tells us about options. So here Krishna demonstrates his magnanimity and understanding. Having delineated the topmost practice of bhakti, he goes on to offer other options, recognizing that some may find it difficult to immediately embrace a devotional path. So progressive steps towards such a devotional spirit include the practice of regulated spirituality, worship through one's daily work, and the cultivation of knowledge. The spiritual path is not all or nothing, and one can begin their journey according to what is feasible and realistic. And the final D is devotee's disposition, verses 13 to 20. So as one embarks on the spiritual journey, they begin to develop saintly qualities. Krishna concludes the chapter by elucidating the disposition of perfected devotees. They exhibit qualities such as tolerance, determination, satisfaction, and equanimity of mind, and the purity of consciousness is clear to all. Devotees endowed with such endearing character traits conquer the heart of Krishna, who becomes bound by the spotless devotion. Such are the dealings within the transcendental realm, where even the unconquerable supreme controller becomes a captive of love. So those are the acronyms for today and for the whole of this chapter. An acronym, if you can remember them, is God. So if you can remember, so G stands for Godhead, then O stands for the options, and D stands for devotee's disposition. So that's all I have, and we can go through any comments or questions, and Parth Prabhu, probably I can hand over back to Parth Prabhu for questions and comments. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you very much for giving us the acronym God, where G stands for Godhead, O for options, and D for devotee's disposition. Krishna gives us so much choice. He gives us the Are there any comments or questions? I'd like to acknowledge the presence. We have had two more devotees, Akshay Roy, Haridas Prabhuji from the temple, and Shyama Vallabha Gopi Devidasi. Welcome to the group. Thank you for joining in. Kindly join in again tomorrow. We've got exciting speakers this week, new speakers. So we'll get new flavors from this devotional service. Any questions? Prahlad, is your doubt clear about the impersonalist?
Yes, yes, it is clear.
Thank you. And as we go through, I think other devotees will also explain us the same. So don't refrain from asking questions. Kindly continue to do so. We also have another devotee, Kanda Glory 58. Prabhuji or Mataji, can you please show your face so that we can say Haribol? Kanda Glory Mataji, Shyamavallabh Gopi Devi Dasi, and Akshay Roy Prabhuji.
Shama Vallabha is my daughter.
Yes, I know her.
Yeah, that's-
But the others might not know her. So
okay. Shama Vallabha, her name is Shreya, non-initiated name is Shreya, and initiated name is Shama Vallabha. So Shama Vallabha, I don't know whether she's listening.
she
Probably
might.
she's in another room, yeah.
Okay, not a problem. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining in. 3 Haribols for all the 3 devotees. Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. Any questions, comments? If there are no questions or comments, we can conclude the session. Prahlad, is it possible for you to conclude the session for us?
Yes. I would like to say thank you to all the devotees that managed to attend the class given by His Grace Path Prem Prabhu. And I would also like to thank Path Prem Prabhu for being our mentor for today and clearing my doubt, and not only mine, but as well as many other devotees. And also Avinash Prabhu, I would like to thank him as well for the acronyms for this chapter and many of the other chapters that we covered previously. So I would like to request all the devotees kindly unmute yourselves, and if you would like to turn on your video, you can also do that if you want to. And let's chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra once.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna,
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 Hare
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 Ram,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Vanjakalpatarunyasya kirva sindhodayeva cha patitanam pavanibhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha.
Prabhupada ki
Ki Jai.
Jai
Vancha Kalpa
Avinash Prabhuji ki Jai.
Jai
Partha Prema Prabhu ki Jai.
Jai.
I think he's there. Yeah, he's there now. He's connected.
Yes, I am here, Prabhu. Thank you very much. And thanks all the devotees.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much.